It's not that she stopped caring overnight. It's that she found someone who made her forget to care about you. And before she vanished, she told you everything in 5 perfectly rehearsed lies. You didn't notice because they sounded innocent. I'm not really a texter. I need space. I'm just busy. But every word was a breadcrumb leading to someone else's bed. In this video, I'll break down the 5 lies women tell when they're sleeping with another man. How they sound, what they really mean, and the moment you should stop believing them. Because once you see the pattern, her silence won't hurt. It'll make sense. Before we dive into the real meaning behind those 5 lies, hit subscribe if you're here to understand women on a deeper level, and drop a comment with your city or country. I want to see how far this message travels, because every man everywhere has probably faced a similar sweet lie. Now, let's get back to it. What you're about to hear next will completely change the way you respond when she says she's too busy. Number 1, I'm really busy right now. You've probably heard this one before. It sounds innocent, doesn't it? Like a woman who's juggling too much, trying to keep everything in balance, her job, her friends, her own peace. But let's cut through the illusion for a moment. When a woman truly desires a man, busy disappears from her vocabulary. She finds moments that shouldn't exist. She texts from the elevator, calls between meetings, sends photos while she's out with friends. Because attraction doesn't respect time, it demands it. When she tells you she's busy, she's not communicating her schedule. She's revealing her priorities. And unfortunately, you're not on the list. That's not cruelty. It's hierarchy. You're not competing with her workload. You're competing with the man she's excited about. Men who don't understand this tend to rationalize it away. They tell themselves, she's independent, she's focused, she's probably just overwhelmed. That's how emotional denial starts. You don't want to lose her, so you start accepting breadcrumbs, the delayed replies, the half-hearted conversations, the excuses that sound almost believable. But here's what really happens when you tolerate it. You silently teach her that you'll wait, that you'll accept any position she places you in. You transform from the prize to the placeholder. Women, consciously or not, test value through access. The moment she senses that your world revolves around her, even when she's barely showing up, the respect evaporates. She knows she doesn't need to invest because you already have. That's how men end up trapped in emotional limbo, chasing someone who's already emotionally checked out. Now, here's the truth no one tells you. Busy is rarely about time. It's about energy. When a woman says she's busy, she means, I don't have the emotional bandwidth for you, and that bandwidth is being spent elsewhere on someone who excites her, challenges her, makes her feel alive. You've become convenience. You're safe, predictable, and in her psychology, predictability is the death of desire. You need to start watching what she does, not what she says. A woman's behavior is always louder than her language. If she's truly interested, you'll feel it in her consistency, not her excuses. You won't have to decode her time. She'll offer it to you without you asking. But when her time becomes rationed and her communication turns mechanical, that's not confusion, that's clarity. So what should you do? Not chase, not confront, not plead. The most masculine move isn't to demand her attention, it's to withdraw your own. You don't punish her, you protect your energy. You don't react to her absence, you mirror it. Because when you stop investing where you're not valued, you shift the dynamic from pursuit to power. Let her be busy. Let her schedule stay full. Let her realize eventually that you're not waiting anymore. Because a woman who truly wants you will always find you, no matter how full her calendar looks. And a woman who doesn't, well, she just gave you the answer you were too afraid to ask for. When a woman says she's busy, she's never busy. She's just busy avoiding you. Number 2, I'm not really a texter. That one hits differently, doesn't it? Because at first, it sounds reasonable, even charming. You tell yourself she's just not one of those glued to the phone girls. She's low maintenance. She's different. But here's the uncomfortable truth. No modern woman is not a texter. Her phone is her emotional oxygen. It's where she connects, flirts, validates, and escapes. If she's not texting you, she's texting someone else. When a woman tells you, I'm not really a texter, what she's really saying is, I'm not emotionally invested enough in you to stay engaged. And yet most men will take that bait. You'll nod, smile, and convince yourself it's fine. You'll keep texting first, waiting hours, sometimes days, for her dry, half-hearted replies. Then you'll scroll her stories and see her online, laughing, posting, engaging, just not with you. That's not disinterest in texting. That's selective engagement. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. In psychology, attention follows dopamine. When a woman's emotional chemistry shifts towards someone else, her brain rewires what and who gives her that dopamine hit. She doesn't stop texting because she's not into phones. She stops because your presence doesn't stimulate her anymore. She's not anticipating your messages. She's avoiding them, not because she hates you, but because she's already emotionally elsewhere. And this is where men usually destroy their own position. They overcompensate. They text twice, maybe 3 times. They justify it. They send memes. They double down. What they're really doing is trying to reanimate a dead conversation by giving more energy to someone who's already disconnected. But energy doesn't revive attraction. It exposes imbalance. The more effort you give to someone who's indifferent, the less respect they have for you. When she slows down communication, that's not a signal to push harder. It's a signal to pause. You can't force connection with someone who's already checked out. You can only reclaim your self-control by refusing to beg for attention that used to come naturally. Every time you chase her digital silence, you confirm to her subconscious that you'll tolerate emotional neglect, that you'll play the role of the convenient backup. Let's be clear, you don't need to confront her. You don't need to call her out. You just need to observe the pattern. Patterns don't lie. When she's into you, her messages carry energy. They feel alive. When she's fading, everything becomes transactional. One-word answers, dry tone, no curiosity. That's how women emotionally exit long before they physically do. There's a quiet power in not reacting. When you stop forcing conversation, you flip the dynamic. She'll either feel the void and come forward, or she won't. Either way, you win. Because silence, when used correctly, is not weakness. It's self-respect, speaking fluently. The truth is, attraction doesn't need constant communication, but it always creates natural effort, the kind that feels easy, the kind that doesn't need excuses. If you're the only one holding the line, then you're not in a relationship, you're in a performance. So next time she says she's not a texter, don't believe the words, believe the pattern. Because the woman who wants you will find a way to reach you even in the middle of chaos, and the one who doesn't. She'll hide behind a convenient lie to protect her ego while she drifts toward another man who excites her more. She's not bad at texting. She's just fluent in avoiding you. Number 3, I need space and time. Those words hit like a slow punch, soft enough to sound reasonable, heavy enough to break something inside you. She says it gently, like she's protecting your feelings. You nod because what else can you do? You think it's temporary. You tell yourself she's overwhelmed, confused, maybe even scared of how fast things moved. But that's not what's happening. What she's really saying is, I need space, not to breathe, but to explore. When a woman is truly drawn to a man, she doesn't crave distance. She craves closeness. The feminine energy naturally expands toward what excites it. But when that excitement dies, she begins to create distance. Emotionally first, then physically. I need space is not an emotional necessity. It's a psychological shield, her way of softening the truth that she no longer feels the same. In psychology, it's called avoidant detachment. When someone fears conflict or guilt, they won't say, I've lost interest. They'll say, I need time to figure things out, time to heal, time to think. But in reality, she's already moved on emotionally. She just hasn't found the courage to make it official. It's easier to frame withdrawal as self-care than to admit she's investing her attention somewhere else. And here's where men fall apart. They respond with patience, with understanding. They say, Kay, take all the time you need. I'll be here when you're ready. That's not loyalty. That's self-betrayal. Because what you're actually saying is, I'll keep my life on pause while you decide if I'm still worth it. You've unknowingly surrendered your power to her indecision. You've become the emotional placeholder, keeping the door open while she figures out which direction she wants to walk in. You can't love someone into clarity. You can't wait someone into wanting you. Again, when a woman says she needs space, you give her more than she expects. You give her the whole universe and you leave it. That's not coldness. That's dignity, because space is not a request. It's a revelation. It's her subconscious saying, I need freedom to see what else is out there. And that's your cue to walk, not in anger, but in awareness. Because chasing a woman who's asking for space is like begging a ghost to stay. She's already halfway out the door. You can't make her return, but you can decide not to follow her into emotional exile. Here's what happens when you respect that distance with silence. You become unpredictable again. You remove the safety net she thought she had. And often that's when reality hits her. Not because she misses you, but because she realizes the control is gone. You've stopped orbiting her. You've broken the gravitational pull. Remember this, when she truly values you, she won't ask for space. She'll ask for closeness. She'll want to resolve, not retreat. And if she wants to retreat, that's your sign that the connection was built on fantasy, not foundation. So don't wait. Don't beg, don't negotiate with absence, because if she really needed time, she'd be spending it healing with you, not away from you. What she calls space isn't confusion. It's a quiet goodbye. She's too gentle to say out loud. Space is not distance. It's disinterest disguised as peace. Number 4, my phone died. Simple, casual, almost harmless. But behind that tiny excuse hides an entire emotional strategy, one designed to create uncertainty, to test how much of her silence you're willing to tolerate. You see, a phone doesn't just die anymore. It's always charged, always within reach. It's the most intimate object a modern woman owns. She checks it in bed, in traffic, in the bathroom. It's not just a device. It's her emotional diary. If she didn't answer you, it wasn't because she couldn't. It's because she didn't want to. Let's be clear, this isn't about technology. It's about control. The unspoken rule in modern dating is that whoever controls communication controls power. When she says, my phone died, she's asserting that control. She's telling you, I decide when I appear and when I disappear. And most men, desperate to stay connected, let her. They laugh it off. They say, no worries. And pretend it doesn't sting. But inside it does, because deep down, you weren't the priority in that moment. Psychologists call this micro-avoidance, a subtle form of detachment where someone creates uncertainty to regain leverage. It's not full rejection, it's emotional rationing. She gives you just enough presence to keep you hopeful, but never enough consistency to feel secure. It's the modern version of ghosting, softer, slower, and far more calculated. Picture this, you're waiting for her reply. Hours pass. You check your phone again and again. Then suddenly, a message. Sorry, my phone died. Relief floods your chest, followed by guilt for even doubting her. That's the manipulation cycle. She vanishes, makes you anxious, then reappears just enough to calm you down. Each time she does it, she reestablishes dominance. You stop expecting consistency. You start appreciating any attention she gives you. And that's how she quietly takes control of your emotions, one unanswered text at a time. Here's the truth. Women who are emotionally invested never risk that kind of misunderstanding. They'll text from another device, borrow a charger, or simply say, hey, I'll be offline for a bit. They manage your expectations because they care about your perception of them. But when she lets the silence stretch long enough to make you wonder, that's not forgetfulness. That's emotional distance, wrapped in plausible deniability. You can't fight that kind of silence with logic. You can't fix it with confrontation. When a woman's interest fades, her communication collapses first. So when she resurfaces with a lazy excuse, don't argue. Don't point out the inconsistency. Just observe it. Her behavior already told you everything. The strongest response is not revenge, it's absence. Don't match her delay with anger. Match it with peace. The moment you stop reacting, she loses her favorite tool, your attention. When she realizes she can't emotionally trigger you anymore, the dynamic resets. You reclaim your control without saying a word. And here's the ironic part. She may even come back suddenly more responsive, suddenly more sorry, but it's not remorse, it's recalibration. She felt your silence and mistook it for indifference. She needs the validation again. That's how the game loops. But once you've seen the pattern, you don't fall for it again. Because now you understand this was never about a dead phone. It was about a dying connection. When interest fades, communication follows. And when you stop excusing that silence, you stop being the backup plan. Phones don't die, interest does. Number 5, I'm not ready for anything serious. It sounds honest, doesn't it? Like she's protecting both of you from disappointment. You might even respect her for saying it, for being self-aware, emotionally mature, honest about her feelings. But beneath that calm surface lies a truth most men never want to face. When a woman says she's not ready for something serious, she's not rejecting relationships, she's rejecting you. Let's unpack that without ego. In female psychology, not ready is rarely about time. It's about alignment. It means she doesn't see you as the man worth rearranging her life for. Harsh, yes, but liberating. Because once you understand that, you stop trying to convince someone to choose you. Attraction doesn't require persuasion. It requires presence. And when she's truly drawn to you, readiness becomes irrelevant. Here's how this lie often plays out. She tells you she's not ready for anything serious, so you give her space, patience, emotional safety. You think she just needs time. But days later, you see her on social media, smiling, glowing, maybe even dating someone new. And suddenly, the illusion cracks. You realize she was ready, just not with you, because not ready is never universal. It's selective. It means I'm not ready to give you the commitment I might give someone else. That's not cruelty, that's preference. And preference doesn't change through effort, it changes through energy. Men who ignore this truth fall into emotional purgatory, waiting, hoping, proving their worth. While she quietly keeps her options open, she gets the comfort of your loyalty and the thrill of someone else's unpredictability. It's the best of both worlds. For her, psychologically, this is called commitment avoidance. It's a defensive pattern built on emotional control. By declaring she's not ready, she positions herself as unavailable, which shields her from guilt and accountability. But behind that shield, she's free to explore, flirt, and connect with others while you wait for her to come around. You're not her partner, you're her emotional safety net. The tragedy is that good men often interpret this as an invitation to prove themselves. They become patient, kind, understanding, waiting for the day she'll see their value. But that day never comes. Why? Because the moment you start convincing someone of your worth, you already surrendered it. You turned attraction into negotiation. Here's the reality. When a woman truly sees you, she doesn't need readiness. She needs proximity. She wants to be around you, even if it's inconvenient. She adjusts, not excuses. She doesn't ask for more time. She asks for more of you. And when she doesn't, don't chase the version of her that exists only in your memory. Don't keep replaying the early days when everything felt effortless. That woman was real, but only in that moment. What she's showing you now is her truth. Accept it, respect it, and walk away with your standards intact. You don't lose a woman like that. You free yourself from an illusion that was holding you hostage. Because love, real love, doesn't sound like hesitation. It sounds like clarity. It shows up without conditions, without disclaimers, without timing excuses. So, when she says she's not ready for anything serious, don't take it personally. Take it literally. She's not avoiding commitment. She's avoiding committing to you. Now that you've seen it clearly, it's hard to unsee. 5 sentences, 5 masks, 5 ways a woman quietly tells you she's slipping away without ever saying the words. Each one sounds different, but they all mean the same thing. You're no longer her priority. Busy, not a texter, needs space. Phone, died, not ready. Different lines, same message, detachment dressed as diplomacy. And the truth is, it's not the lies that hurt the most. It's that you believed them because you wanted to, because it was easier to hold on to hope than to face what her behavior had already made clear. Men don't lose to women's deception. They lose to their own denial. You heard her tone shift. You saw her distance grow. You felt the silence. And yet you tried to rationalize it. You called it patience, understanding, loyalty. But it was something else. It was fear. Fear of seeing yourself as disposable. Fear of admitting that the connection you thought was mutual was actually conditional. Here's what you need to remember. Words reveal interest, but patterns reveal truth. And the pattern never lies. A woman who truly values you will show up, communicate, and protect your presence in her life. A woman who doesn't will speak in riddles and expect you to decode them while she gives her energy to someone else. You can't control her honesty, but you can control your response. You can choose to stop negotiating your worth through someone else's inconsistency. You can stop chasing closure and start reclaiming clarity, because the moment you stop reacting to lies, they lose their power. If you want to stop being manipulated, stop negotiating your worth. Stop trying to prove you're the exception to her excuses. You're not here to convince. You're here to command. So walk with silence, withdraw your energy, observe more, speak less, and let your absence deliver the message your words never could. You don't expose her lies by confronting her. You expose them by walking away. If this video hit you hard, that means it was meant for you. Subscribe, share it with a man who needs to wake up and start living with your eyes open.